edition of Infield Fly, talking baseball with you as we recap the last week of Major League Baseball and look ahead to this upcoming week in Major League Baseball and check out all the news and notes going around the league. I'm Rob Fisher. I'm a Cardinals fan. Heartbreaker yesterday for the Cardinals. Keith Murphy is, and by the way, the Cardinals are in last place. Keith Murphy is here. He's a Cubs fan. Heartbreaker for the Cubs last night.
Yes.
Cubs could have been in first place.
Could have been, should have been. It's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's right. And Lang Whitaker's here with the first place Atlanta Braves.
Although it's close, like we're barely in first place.
Yeah, but just keep one in series. Keep one in.
That's what it's about. Yeah,
that's right. We got a lot to get into this week regarding our teams, but also some big stories in Major League Baseball. Big stories, and we lead with this. Major League Baseball will address the uniform fiasco.
I thought it was over.
I thought the fiasco was over too. I mean,
yeah, I was
really
surprised to see that
care.
story. Yeah, no one's talking about it anymore, and now people are talking about it again.
The only person,
but I think somebody was talking about it because they had a big splashy photo of somebody's rear end almost sticking out.
Well, and there was a big
nationally now, like people, national outlets are very slow to pick up on stories like this.
Yeah,
and they finally picked up on it when dude slid and his backside almost came out. So yeah.
Yeah, and there was a bad picture of Lance Lynn just standing. Just the uniform is not flattering on Lance Lynn.
I don't think any uniform is flattering on Lance Lynn.
No, I don't know how they're going to fix the uniform to make him flattering. Yeah,
the beard is not flattering on Lance Lynn.
Yeah, no kidding. But this is what they're going to do. Of course, there were widespread complaints throughout. For fans and players, the most prominent modification will return to larger lettering on the back of the uniforms. That's good because the names were just too small. That was silly. Also, there are mismatched gray tops and bottoms around the league. So that's gonna. Apparently, the memo to the players said this has been entirely a Nike issue.
Yeah.
At its core, what has happened here is that Nike was innovating something that did not need to be innovated. Wow.
And well, it also was basically like, it's all Nike's fault. Nothing to do with FanDuel. Right. Or not FanDuel, Fanatics. Nothing to do with Fanatics.
No.
And Fanatics is an investor in Major League Baseball's player union, some sort of fund or something. So I don't know if we want to draw a line to that, but
yeah.
I mean, what does it say that Nike didn't read the room early and say, hey, we made a mistake on this? Like, can we get a do-over? Can we get a mulligan on this?
Yeah.
They're not saying anything. I haven't heard anything from a Nike rep yet.
But it's funny. I mean, the uniform complaints, they all remember the complaint about, oh my God, put in the Nike swoosh on the jerseys, just going to ruin the jerseys.
Yeah. I mean, that was over the top.
Yeah. Putting an ad on the sleeve is going to ruin jerseys.
Yeah.
No, not so much. I thought this would go away like those went away, but apparently,
I thought it had. I thought it was done.
I did too. Yeah, I did too. Actually,
I was like, all right, we made it.
What I've been reading though, they said when it's gotten hotter in certain cities, the sweat issue is picked up for a lot of players.
Yeah, like Lance Lynn.
Right. Well, I mean, you didn't see that from a lot of players because they were playing in the cold mostly, but as it started picking up, people was like, their uniforms felt heavier.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I want to go buy one of those before they get rid of them, just because it's going to be a collector's item to have like the small name on the back. Like maybe that's worth going out and.
I mean, it might rip. It might rip easily in the dryer though. Come on, dude.
I'm not gonna wear it. I'll just hang it.
No, come on, it look good on you. Look good.
Just put it behind me.
The other big news of the week: Players Weekend is returning to Major League Baseball. You remember when they had Players Weekend?
I don't remember that.
No idea what that is.
They had the Players Weekend where they when the players came to bat, it like gave their little league information.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And the players wore their nicknames on the back of the jersey and all that good stuff. Well, apparently, they're going to have Players Weekend again, and it's a different version though. They will not have the special uniforms with nicknames on the jerseys.
Well,
I don't know if that's a Nike or Fanatics deal.
That defeats the purpose. That was the whole fun of it all.
Yeah, well, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah, how are we going to make it fun?
Well, we're going to provide a platform to celebrate players' interests, backstories, and charitable causes.
A platform? Like a
stage? Here's the schedule. Friday, August 16th, there will be, this is according to Major League Baseball. I love when they use like children's words. Fun aspects of players' personalities, friendships, and off-field interests will be featured on Friday, August 16th. On Saturday, August 17th, focus will be on charitable and community initiatives that are important to players.
Okay.
And then on Sunday, August 18th, players will celebrate the people who helped them on their path to the major leagues. It's called Fun, Causes, and Appreciation.
It feels like a civics project.
I know.
Like it doesn't really feel fun, does it?
Yeah,
no.
They're doing too much.
And they won't wear the uniforms with nicknames. However, they'll wear hats that'll have their uniform number displayed on the side and in a youthful design.
Who's coming up with these terms?
And they can use customized bats as well.
Okay, the customized bat thing, that sounds fun.
So there's that.
I mean, so many players now already wear like customized shoes and like, you know, the padding and all that stuff is all colored and like it's not, baseball's not nearly as like buttoned up as it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So it's probably a little more difficult to make it seem like it's being avant-garde.
Yeah. So there you go. Baseball Players Weekend is back. It's coming in August.
Great.
Make sure you check that out. Also, Rangers ace Max Scherzer is proposing a solution to the inconsistent umpiring that continues to plague baseball.
All right.
Scherzer came up with this idea.
Let's go.
He said, for me, how I conceptualize how the electronic strike zone should be is we need to rank the umpires. Let the electronic strike zone rank the umpires, and we need to have a conversation about the bottom 10%, and talk about relegating those umpires to the minor leagues and getting in the best umpires in that game. That way the umpires are going against themselves.
It's not terrible.
Relegation.
I don't hate it.
That's actually a pretty good idea. Max Scherzer, the first good idea that guy's had in 5 years.
Probably.
I like that. I mean, I'm sure the unions would throw a fit, but if you're not good enough, send you down. I mean, players get sent down.
That's right. Relegation for baseball umpires. I think it'd be great. I don't know if you could get that past the union though.
Yeah.
That's going to be really tough. The first month of the season, April, is over now. And as we head into May, looking at some of the highlights from the month of April, this according to CBSSports.com, the big stories in the first month, the MVP 3 justifying the hype with Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei Ohtani on pace to get 100 wins again this season. Betts is the favorite at this point to win the National League Most Valuable Player. He's hitting .391 for crying out loud. Freeman's batting .305, Ohtani .347. Great lineups throughout the history of baseball, but this one, the top three at least, as good as we've ever seen. Number 2 on the list, Juan Soto, fitting in New York. So he's been unbelievable. You
got to give it up to him, man.
324, 7 bombs, 7 more walks than strikeouts, and so he's having a great start to the season, and the Yankees having a great start to the season. So got to give Juan Soto a lot of credit.
I think it's trickling down to Judge too, because
he's starting to finally hit.
Yeah, and I think he's getting the after effects of that.
Yeah. Number 3 on the list, the Astros. The ALCS streak is in peril. They've been there 7 consecutive times. And now the Astros in last place in the American League West behind the Oakland A's.
Yeah.
They're
not very good.
Here's number 4 on the list. The Cardinals' woes are not a one-year mirage.
Wow.
Woes. Woes.
Oh, my God. Yeah, their woes are continuing. Last place for the Cardinals at this point, but did win 2 series this week. So, just win series and you'll be fine. And then number 5, the pitcher injuries remaining a hot button issue and what is causing these injuries. The long off season may have hurt the Scott Boras Four. Cody Bellinger's on the injured list. Blake Snell's on the injured list. Jordan Montgomery's pitched a couple of games, and Matt Chapman, he's doing all right. But these four guys were held out for quite a while and all summer. And Scott Boras did not work out for him. No. Jackson Holliday, not an instant star. He was sent back down to the minor leagues from the Baltimore Orioles. Stephen Vogt, early favorite for manager of the year for the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah.
How about that? Paul Skeens.
I would go with him, and secondly, I would probably go with Counsell right now.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the injuries that we're dealing with, Fish.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of who else.
We should not be this good with. I mean, we can get into that when we talk about the Cubbies, but we should not even be winning some of these series that we won. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm shocked. Yeah. Whenever the Cubs win with this lineup, I'm generally shocked. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're getting it done. Paul Skeens, the pitcher, number 1 pick for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He is nearing his debut. That is something to watch for here coming forward. And the clock changes have had their desired effect by cutting down the time of Major League Baseball once again. So those are the top 10 stories of the off season, or top 10 stories of the first month of the season so far this year. All right, let's get into our teams. We'll start with the Atlanta Braves. 19-7 on the season. Sweep 3 against Miami, won 2 of 3 against Cleveland. That Cleveland series was a lot of fun to watch. 2 of the games went to extra innings. It was fun watching the 2 best teams in baseball go at it, and the Braves able to get 2 of the 3.
The game Saturday was the Guardians got a lot of like dink dunk hits, and were kind of small balling their way into it, and I felt like the Braves could have swept that series pretty easily, but that game Saturday, just things didn't go their way, and can't win them all. But your point about Stephen Vogt, Sunday in the game against the Guardians, there was a play where he Acuna was on second base. It was the 10th inning, and Acuna was supposed to start on second base, and he was late getting out there. And Stephen Vogt stopped the game, complained, and got a strike called on Albies before the bat had even started, because he was like paying attention that Acuna didn't get out there in time with the clock, or I don't know what it is. But yeah, man, Braves are just kind of rolling along. Same old.
Good to see Max Fried have a 3-hit shutout.
Yeah, that was like a Greg Maddux start. Somebody said, like he only threw 90 pitches or something. Like he was dealing. He's been good. Lopez has been awesome. Elder looks pretty good. He's made a couple starts.
Morton came back with a good start.
Morton looks good. Everyone's hitting right now. Austin Riley. Acuna only had 1 hit this weekend. Austin Riley had a bunch of balls he hit at guys that were outs. It feels like their offense is kind of scuffled recently and could be better as they keep going. But luckily, we have the best hitter in baseball, Marcell Ozuna of the Braves.
So. Marcell Ozuna, by the way, 9 home runs. He leads Major League Baseball. He leads Major League Baseball in RBIs.
Yes.
And he's got to be pretty good in the rankings as far as average is concerned as well. I mean, he's hitting 340.
Yeah, he doesn't strike out a lot, makes contact, puts it in play. He's hitting
Big
it hard.
Bear, man.
Yeah, man. He's. I don't know why they keep calling him Big Bear. I keep waiting for them to like call him like Oloso Grande or like like make it more fitting for him. But
something more fitting.
He's doing it though.
Did you see this coming?
No. I wanted to get rid of him.
No.
This time a year ago, I was like, we got to get him out of there.
Because I remember you complaining about that cat, man.
He had all this guaranteed money. Now he's going to be a free agent next summer. He's going to like make some money from somebody. I don't know who, but I don't know. Like I don't think there is an explanation. There can't be, because if it was that easy, they'd fix everybody. He was so bad the first month of the season last year, and everybody was just ready to move on, get rid of him, and now he's just awesome. And I don't know how in the world that happened.
Ozzie Albies back from the injured list. In regard to that, I think the thing that's been impressive as well for the Braves is that Michael Harris, I always talk about lineups, and I always have a problem with the Cardinals changing lineups so often, and the Braves keeping their lineup pretty consistent. Harris was a guy last year that hit ninth in the order, and he was such a good player in the ninth spot. I mean, almost the second leadoff hitter in that ninth spot. Well, this year he's moving up to 7, but then when Albies was out, he moved up to 2. I mean, he is a perfect plug and play guy.
Yeah,
I mean, wherever
awesome.
you plug him in the lineup, it seems like he fits.
Arcia's been really good like that too. Who was not one of the kind of big name guys, but he's moved up and down a little bit in the hitting in the lineup too, and been really good too. But Harris has been awesome. I mean, look, they've done. Albies has already been on the injured list. Strider's out for the season. Murphy played the first game of the season, hasn't played since then with the strain, whatever it was, oblique muscle. So like they've had lots of injuries and lots of things, and somehow we've only lost 7 games this season.
Yeah, pretty impressive. 19-7 for the Atlanta Braves. Cubs, meanwhile, 17-11, so close to being 18-10 and being in first place in the National League Central. Tough loss last night, a walk-off loss to the Boston Red Sox. Swept 3 against Houston, and then came back, lost 2 of 3 at Boston. One was a 17-0 rout. Sunday was the walk-off. In the win, Shota Imanaga, 6 1/3, or 1 earned run. He's now 4-0 on the season. Mike Tauchman has had a great week, 3 home runs this week. Pete Crow Armstrong got his first home run. Javier Assad was very good pitching. Didn't get a decision, though. So things went well. I mean, even though losing 2 of 3 at Boston, one was heartbreaking. To win 4 out of 6 this week and sweep Houston was good.
That's what I wanted. Remember what I said? I said if we get 4 out of 6, if we just – because I was spooked about Boston coming in. I just thought that's a sneaky team. Their team ERA is just – so low. Their pitching's been good. They've been getting like timely hits. That's a tough team, man. I think I don't know what they were able to do from the last season when it just looked like it was just a bag of what on fire. But whatever they've done, wherever that the manager came in, whatever he did, those young kids that were like striking out, crazy, looking silly, they're playing hard right now. But yeah, Imanaga, I can't say enough about that dude. He's got to be top 2, top 3 Cy Young early candidates right now. Like he's just, I don't even know what his pitching style is. He's just got this weird delivery. People can't figure him out. When somebody hits a home run, he's like, okay, he smiles, looks at the home run. You got to see his face when they hit home runs. He's like looking at the home run, like, wow, they hit a home run, and then he just consists of just mowing down more people. I like this team. We just got to figure out our towards the pitching towards the end of the lineups, man. It's like teams feast on us. As soon as they get to the bullpen, it's like they're rubbing their hands together like Birdman. It's like we got to get our bullpen together, dude.
Yeah, and got to get some guys healthy now. Cody Bellinger placed on the injured list with a fractured rib. Jordan Wicks on the 15-day disabled list with a strained forearm. Kyle Hendricks with a back. Drew Smiley with a hip. I mean, that's starting to be a bunch of dudes. Maybe it's good for Kyle Hendricks.
I told you about Kyle Hendricks. I think they should figure something out with him because I don't think he's going to be with this team for long. But
yeah,
injuries are piling up. It's a mass unit. It is what it is. And I just want to see when Steele comes back, if he can it can be an effect where he comes back and the other pitchers can just get into their jobs and frame. He can pitch longer. We need more people to be able to pitch 6-7 innings. I think Imanaga did that, right? Wasn't he the first Cubs pitcher this season to get to 7?
He went 6 1/3. He went into the 7th.
Yeah. So we need more of that because it just makes our lives easier. We just can't keep pressuring our middle relievers to just come in the 4th inning,
right.
5th inning to do something for the Cubs, and it just turns disastrous, man. Like we just gotta figure out what we can do with the bullpen. And I like this team. I like our fight. The fact that we were able to come back that game the last game yesterday, being down, and it seems like we can just get hits and score pretty easily on people. It's just we can't stop the bleeding when it matters. So we got to figure that out.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Cardinals they win 2 more series this week. They'll be to 500, 13-15 on the season. They did beat.
That's not 500.
No, if they win 2 more series this week, they'll be at 500. They won 2 of 3 against Arizona and 2 of 3 at the Mets. Nolan Gorman hitting his 4th home run. It was a walk-off. Goldschmidt hit his 2nd of the season. Steven Matz was shelled in a 14-1 loss. Kyle Gibson, 6 innings pitched, gave up 1 earned run, improved to 2-2 on the year. Then Wilson Contreras hit his 4th home run of the year. Sonny Gray, another fine outing. He's now 3-1 as he went 6 innings, gave up just 1 run. Cardinals were walked off in the finale against the Mets. Cardinals did have their first 3-game winning streak. How about that? First 3-game winning streak of the season. So there's that. 13-15 now on the year. The bad news for the Cardinals, what am I going to do with my Scherzer? Jordan Walker sent to AAA. He was awful. Hitting about $1. I mean, he was hitting about $150. Doesn't have a home run. And he's sent to AAA. I told you guys this last year about this time. It's the 1-year anniversary of him being sent down to the minor leagues last year.
Yeah.
When he was raking the ball. I mean, the guy was he was putting up great numbers and he was hitting everything hard. And they sent him down to the minor leagues because they wanted a better launch angle. You know, I had a coach in high school who told me one time, he said, sometimes you got to take 1 step back to go 2 forward.
Truth.
He ruined my senior year by that whole theory.
Why?
And I think the Cardinals are ruining Jordan Walker's sophomore year.
Why did he tell you that? Was he like trying to bench you or something? Like why?
He didn't like my swing. He wanted to change my swing. And I went from hitting like 380 to the next year I hit like 290.
Well, yeah, but maybe the next year you would have gone up to like 450.
Next year I got 1 at bat in college and I struck out. So no, it didn't help. And I'm afraid the Cardinals are just screwing with Jordan Walker. I mean, because it's all about analytics with Jordan Walker. Apparently now everything he's hitting hard, he's hitting on the ground. So, you know, he's not driving the ball. And
it needs a launch angle.
He needs launch angle, I guess. Yeah. So they send him back down to the minor leagues, and my jersey, my Scherzer of Jordan Walker is
let's go see him, Fish. It's right up the street from me.
Yeah, we'll go see Jordan Walker play. Yeah, we can go see him play. No doubt. But yeah, Cardinals, a good week for the Cardinals. Winning 2 series, but yeah, the Jordan Walker news was a little disappointing to say the least. A couple of the what was the other thing I wanted to tell you?
About the Cardinals?
No. Oh. I'm done with them.
About the Yankees beating the Brewers and helping us?
No, that wasn't it either. But we'll get to that here in a moment. Some of the it was a list for something.
Angel Hernandez. That's usually a good just go to.
We'll get that next week. Yeah, Angel Hernandez still sucks. All right, let's go around the horn. Look at the National League East. The Braves are in first place, but there are the Phillies right there at 19-10.
Yeah,
as you mentioned, they're right behind, and they split 4 at Cincinnati. They swept 3 at San Diego. Ranger Suarez might be the story of the season. There's your Cy Young Award winner after April. He's 5-0 now on the season. Went another 8 innings pitched. Gave up just 1 earned run. His scoreless inning streak was snapped at 32 innings. But he only gave up 1 earned run. He's 5-0 on the season. Harper's got 6 bombs. Schwarber's got 7 bombs. But Suarez he's been unbelievable.
Wait a minute. Schwarber has what?
Schwarber's got 7.
Jeez.
Yeah. Suarez killed us in the playoffs last year.
Yeah. And that's where he kind of emerged.
Yeah. He's not like a, power guy or anything. He just kind of I guess, throws to the right place and mixes it up and keeps people off balance and makes it work.
Yeah. Mets are 14-13. Watching them this weekend, they're just not very good.
Yeah.
I mean, their lineup's weird. They just don't have enough good players up and down, and then their pitching's just very average. They're a very average team at best. Thus, they're 14-13. The surprise team maybe in the East is Washington. They're close to 500 at 13-14. You went and saw them play.
I saw them play the Dodgers this week in DC, and they it's funny because you look at their lineup, like I don't know a lot of the guys in that lineup. I was like, and we were trying to think that who's their best player. Like if you had to buy a Scherzer of a Nats player. Like everyone there was wearing like Strasburg ones and like Soto ones. Like, I mean, is it like C.J. Abrams? Like, is that their best player?
I guess, yeah.
But they, they were scrappy. They played hard. They, whatever. They beat the Dodgers in that series in L.A. You feel like they're probably like a year or two away from maybe being what they're going to become, and they need some more veteran guys to do that. But they have a nice little base to build on.
How's the ballpark?
It was cool. I'd never been there. The funny part was we had to leave a little bit early to get out of there, and when we left,
did you miss the Shohei bomb?
Ohtani went into the upper deck right after we left.
Wow.
But it's a cool park. It sort of reminded me of the Braves one, actually. And they've like redeveloped the neighborhood around that, and so there's lots of restaurants and apartments and hotels. Lots of people walking and stuff on foot. It's a cool little area.
Very cool. The Marlins are 6-23.
I want them to be as bad as possible. So in September, I go down there for the Braves series
and get a ticket for $5.
Yeah, I have no problem getting tickets. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably work for you. In the National League Central, Milwaukee is in first place at 17-10. They split 4 at Pittsburgh. Then they lost 2 of 3 against the Yankees. Rhys Hoskins has 6 home runs now on the season. Pitcher Wade Miley will have Tommy John surgery on his left throwing elbow. That could be it for him. He is 37 years old.
Damn, it's like the flu right now, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like, seriously, what's happening?
Cincinnati's at 15-13. Ellie De La Cruz, his 7th home run of the year and his 5th double of the year in the series over the weekend. Pittsburgh at 14-15, and then you have the Cardinals right below them at 13-15 on the year. National League West, the Doyers are 18-12 after a 5-1 week for them. They swept 3 at Washington. Shohei's home run went 450 feet into the second deck. Yeah. Hit three doubles in an 11-2 route in the next game to give him 14 doubles on the season. And then he hit the hardest ball he's hit in his career, and it was a single. The hardest ball he's hit in his career.
Did you see that ball, Fish?
It was a laser.
Insane. Like if somebody had their hand on it, like the cartoon where the pitch comes back at you so fast that your whole hand with the mat comes off. That's what would have happened. It was like insane. Like they had to slow it down because first I was like, oh man, it's hyperbole. They just and they slowed it down, and it just looked like the guy that was like, it looked like death was coming at him. Like it just looked like that's how fast the ball was. That dude is incredible, man.
Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable. And then Yamamoto, 6 scoreless innings to improve to 2-1 on the season. And then the Dodgers went to Toronto and they won 2 of 3 at Toronto. Shohei got booed in Toronto.
Good.
And it was a big story about Shohei being booed.
What's that all about?
People love gambling up there.
Remember when he was really close to signing with Toronto?
I think that's
remember when the Toronto people claimed that he was on a plane and he was landing in Toronto and the guy got off the plane and it was not Shohei Ohtani.
Was it his translator?
No. Stealing his plane.
That would be hilarious.
So they booed Shohei and all he did was hit his 7th home run of the year. So that didn't work for him. And Tyler Glasnow improved to 5-1 on the season. There's another April Cy Young Award guy. Glasnow 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run against Toronto to go 5-1 on the season. In second place in that division is San Francisco at 14-15. They put Blake Snell, one of the Boras Four. He was placed on the 15-day injured list.
The Boras Four. Incarcerated. Yeah, they're like conspirators or something.
A left abductor strain. He's on the 15-day injured list. San Diego 14-17. Dylan Cease against Philadelphia went 6 innings, gave up 5 earned runs. He fell to 3-2 on the season. Arizona's 13-16. Zach Gallen left the game due to hamstring tightness. This damn pitch clock.
Yeah, you didn't have time to stretch.
Yeah. And then Colorado at 7-21. They made the wrong kind of history Sunday afternoon. Colorado is the second team in baseball history to trail in each of their first 28 games.
Ooh.
They have been trailing in each game this season. That is brutal.
That's awful.
Yeah, not good.
But if they're the second team, somebody else is at this problem.
The Chicago White Sox is like, hold my beer.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll get to them in a second. In the American League East, the New York Yankees at the top at 19-10. They split 4 at Oakland. They won 2 of 3 at Milwaukee. 36 runs against Milwaukee. They hit 15 twice. Juan Soto hit his 7th home run. Aaron Judge hit 5 and 6. Stanton hit his 6th. Anthony Rizzo hit his 300th home run. 12th active player with 300 home runs. Anthony Rizzo. Hall of Famer, Anthony Rizzo?
No.
Not yet, but he's getting closer.
Yeah, 300 home runs doesn't really do
not
much
yet.
for you. No.
400 will. I think 400 to get you in these days.
Toss me when you get to 450.
Yeah. All right. Baltimore's in second place at 17-10. They won 2 of 3 at the Angels. Lost 2 of 3 against Oakland. Craig Kimbrell blew 2 saves. Go figure. Boy, what him and then like last night watching Kenley Jansen, both of those guys are still terrifying.
Yeah.
Just terrifying. Adley Rutschman hit his 3rd and 4th home run. Gunnar Henderson had number 9. Jackson Holliday, meanwhile, second baseman, baseball's top prospect, was sent to AAA Norfolk on Friday after a difficult start to his big league career. He was 2 for 34 with 18 strikeouts.
Yeah.
2 walks, 1 RBI over 10 games. So, yeah, he's sent back down, but he'll be all right. Boston 16-13. Tyler O'Neill hit his 8th and 9th home runs against the Cubs. Toronto 14-15. They went 1-5 on the week. Congratulations to Toronto. They just continue to underwhelm. And Tampa. This might be the first year that we just let's forget about Tampa.
Forget it.
Every year we say, don't forget about Tampa. Don't forget about Tampa. Look out for Tampa.
Now we can.
Forget about Tampa. Yeah. They just got swept by the White Sox. Thus, my White Sox jersey hanging behind me.
Yeah.
You know who 45 is for the White Sox?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, correct. Yeah, very nice.
I like that.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, so the White Sox sweep. The White Sox now have 6 wins on the season. They just swept the Rays in 3. Half of their wins coming against the Tampa Rays this week. Rays are 13-16. They're in last place in the division. I think we can forget about the Rays this year. Yeah. I don't think we need to worry about it. In the AL Central, Cleveland's at the top at 19-9. Won 2 of 3 against Boston. Jose Ramirez hit his 4th and 5th homer, and then they lost 2 of 3 at Atlanta. Watching that series, what'd you think of Cleveland?
They're scrappy. It reminded me of the Mets from like 2 years ago, a year ago, when the Mets were like that, played that kind of ball, like they can have a couple guys who get hits, but they're just hard to get out. That Stephen Kwan is like impossible to strike out.
Yeah.
He's just gets on base. But then they did things like they're really aggressive. They try to steal bases a lot, but they were in that one of those, was it the game Sunday? And Kwan got on base and they got thrown out at third, got picked off by Mentor. When you need a run in the 9th, 10th inning and you get picked off at trying to steal third. So I feel like, maybe they're kind of hot right now too. I mean, who else is going to win the AL Central?
Well, yeah, no doubt. I mean, they don't really have, I guess Kansas City is probably the biggest threat. Kansas City at 17-12. They won 3 of 4 against Toronto, lost 2 of 3 at Detroit. Seth Lugo, one of the best pitchers in baseball in this first month, he went another 7 scoreless. He's now 4-1 on the year. Michael Wacha did get beat up at Detroit. However, he fell to 1-3 on the season, but Kansas City at 17-12. Minnesota's 14-13. They've won 7 straight games at 14-13.
They should be a lot better, Fish. With that lineup, with that team, I don't. They should not just be 1 game over 500.
And that's with winning 7 straight that they're 1 game over 500. Yeah, I don't know. I think Cleveland's the elite and Kansas City's probably second in that division. Yeah. But Minnesota should be better than that. Detroit 16-12. Tarek Skubal, 7 innings pitch, 1 earned run. He's now 4-0 on the season as he beat Kansas City. And the White Sox are 6-22 on the year. 6-22 and riding a 3-game win streak.
I mean, I would say that, there'd be one of those teams to go shopping on, like towards when the season collapses and you need to get players, but I don't see anybody on there that someone could trade for or pick up in the late hours of trying to get better for a playoff run, because that team is just god awful.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the American League West, Seattle 15-13 now on the season. They won 2 of 3 at Texas and 2 of 3 against Arizona as well. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh, 6th home run of the year. J-Rod hit his first home run of the season, so that was good. And Luis Castillo had a nice outing for the first time this year. He's now 2-4. George Kirby went 7 scoreless against Arizona with 12 strikeouts.
Jeez.
He's now 3-2 on the season. Texas fell to second place this week at 15-14, losing 2 of 3 to Seattle. And then they did win 2 of 3 against Cincinnati. Wyatt Langford, their talented rookie, did hit an inside the park home run for his first big league home run of his career. And they signed Johnny Cueto. Texas signed Johnny Cueto. He has reemerged. So that's always exciting to see. Oakland's in third place at 12-17. How about that? And then the Angels. Mike Trout hit his 9th and 10th home run. They moved him. Ronnie Washington moved him up into the leadoff spot.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hit his first leadoff home run since 2012.
I wonder if he thought about when the Braves did that with Acuna a couple of years ago. Yeah. Got him going, and maybe that's what it takes.
Yeah, Anthony Rendon, by the way, partially torn hamstring. 33-year-old's been hampered by injury since joining the Angels. He signed a 7-year, $245 million contract ahead of 2020. He played in 52 of 60 games during the shortened 2020 season, but since the start of 2021, he has played 167 games. That's it. $245 million. And then Houston at 9-19, their worst start since 1969. All right. Some of the surprises. All right, here we go. Some surprises from the first month of the season. You ready? Some surprises?
Yep.
All right, this is according to CBSSports.com. Houston Astros, the biggest surprise in baseball. You agree with that?
I would go with Kansas.
Yeah, it's like the wrong kind of surprise.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think Kansas is like, I did not have them making a race out of this early. I think they should be the biggest surprise.
Yeah, Cleveland Guardians, one of the big surprises, on pace for 117 wins. Wow, how about that?
Yeah, I can ride with that.
But the rotation's been very good for them. One of the surprises, the Milwaukee Brewers. Sure, they won the National League Central last year, but they lost their manager to the Cubs, and they've lost some players. They lost their general manager to the Mets. They're starting pitching. They lose Corbin Burns. They lost Brandon Woodruff, who's out with an injury. They've lost Wade Miley, who's out with an injury. Yet there they are at the top of the Central Division. So Milwaukee Brewers, a little bit of a surprise. I don't know. I think that division's too tight of a race to really I'm
not buying that.
I mean, all 5 teams in the division think they can win the division, Lang.
I can tell. I can tell right now.
Well, four of them.
At least 2 of them do right this second.
Two. Ranger Suarez, who we talked about, one of the big surprises.
Yeah.
Here's one of the negative surprises. Man, why are the Cardinals on every one of these lists? Paul Goldschmidt. Uh-oh.
What's he hitting?
Well, Goldschmidt's hitting about he's hitting 170 and not making contact and not doing much. So Goldschmidt, they have him as the last on the surprises, not doing very well. He's just not driving the ball. He's got 2 home runs on the season, 1 on opening day and 1 last Sunday, and that's it.
Is he on base otherwise though?
No, he's not. I mean, let's see, what is he hitting?
I mean, Fish, do you think that he's just trying to hit home runs instead of just?
No, I think he's too good of a hitter to do that. Or has been too good of a hitter to do that. But let's see, he's hitting. Oh, he's got it up over 200. He's 208 now. Yeah, 208 with 2 homers, 2 doubles. He scored 12 runs and has 11 RBIs.
But Acuna has 1 home run this year for the Braves. Right. But his OPS is good.
Yeah, I was about to say he's getting on base. He's got
18 walks, and 11 stolen bases. And he's just not getting the home runs he had. And maybe that's luck. Maybe it's people are trying to pitch around him more than they were.
And they've tried to move the lineup where they've moved Goldschmidt now down to 5th, and it just hasn't helped.
Who's hitting in front of him, Fish?
Well, God, they change it every day. Donovan leads off. Contreras is hitting 2nd. Arenado's hitting 3rd. Ivan Herrera hits 4th, catcher, and then 5th is Goldschmidt. It's a pretty crappy lineup once you look at it. When you look,
maybe they should move him closer to Contreras.
I
don't know what to do.
Just move the lineup around more.
Well, that's. I was very happy with the Cardinals for the first 3 weeks. They kept the lineup intact. They kept it the same virtually every night. Now all of a sudden it's back to just
because they're losing,
throwing darts. Well, I mean, they just won 2 series.
All right.
So maybe it's working.
Maybe it's working.
Okay, we'll see. Our favorite guys, Shohei. Shohei had 6 hits this week, 3 doubles, 2 homers.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
5 RBIs. He's hitting .347. In his first 25 games with the Dodgers, Shohei had 20 runs, 18 extra base hits, and 5 stolen bases. Before him, the last player to reach those numbers in the first 25 games with the team was Barry Bonds back in 1993.
Oh, wow.
How about that? Yeah, good company there for Shohei. J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez, had 6 hits this week, a home run, 3 RBIs. His average is up to .275. So he's climbing. He's starting to come back. But the problem is he has just 1 home run, that 1 home run he hit this week. A lot of guys that we're talking about here, Acuna having just the 1 home run, Goldschmidt 1 home run, Julio Rodriguez just 1 home run. There have been a lot of guys that have had that early season struggle. Judge had the early season struggles up until about a week ago. Elly De La Cruz, 5 hits this week, a double, a homer, 3 RBIs. He's hitting .281 on the season. O'Neal Cruz had a good week. 8 hits, 2 doubles. His average up 32 points to 241. Had nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
Bobby Witt Jr. added him. He had the best week of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Of the Royals. 9 hits, a double, a triple, 8 RBIs, 4 stolen bases.
Jeez.
He's hitting .308 on the season. He is going to be a superstar. And then the other one, Mason Miller.
Yeah, my guy, the closer for the A's.
Closer for the Oakland Athletics. He had 3 1/3 innings pitched, 3 saves to give him 7 on the season. Gave up 1 hit, struck out 8. That's in 3 1/3. That's 10 batters.
He's outrageous.
See, Oakland is winning too much for me because I want to get that guy so bad.
No kidding.
Like, please lose because this middling stuff is gonna. They're gonna hold on to him.
How big of a attraction would he be come trade deadline? My goodness.
I don't think you can say how big would he be. It's how big will he be come trade deadline. Yeah, because that's. I mean, come on. It's the A's we're talking about here.
His ERA's at 1.46 on the season. 1.46.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Pretty impressive. Fortunately for him, the A's are actually getting opportunities to save games.
Yes, that's my point.
Because in the past, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
They need to lose.
Yeah. Cardinals, my Cardinal betting, I'm 17-11 on the season.
Look at you.
Okay.
4 games up on the Cardinals. I lead the Cardinals by 4 games. Meanwhile, this week, the Cardinals will be in Detroit for 3, and then they host the White Sox for 3.
Okay. So the Detroit series is going to be a crapshoot. You don't know about that one. The White Sox should just straight up sweep.
Straight up sweep. No doubt. White Sox are terrible.
Like if you can't sweep that team, I don't know,
It'll be fun when the White Sox come to town because the best fans in baseball. It'll be great to see them give Paul DeYoung a nice standing ovation for his return to St. Louis.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know why they do that? Because they're the best fans in baseball.
Because they miss him.
Yeah. The Cubs will be in New York to take on the Mets for 4, and then home to take on Milwaukee for 3. Big weekend series, Murph, against the Brewers.
I don't trust the Mets series for one. I know you said they were kind of a mediocre team, but I think they're good.
Really?
Yes, I just think that they've hit a few snags.
Well, Lindor finally has gotten going.
Listen, they got up and down that lineup, man. They got dangerous hitters. They got some guys in there that just hit for contact. The pitching is kind of been suspect. The bullpen sometimes is suspect, but that's a sneaky team. I know what I'm going to get out of Milwaukee. I know that's just going to be a dogfight, but I know a lot of Cubs fans are kind of like trying to look past the Mets. Oh, yeah, the Mets. No, don't look past them. Be serious.
I think I hate the Mets because of Jeff McNeil. Might be my least favorite player in the league.
I mean, there's plenty of reasons to hate them. I mean, Lang has a lot of reasons to hate them, but
I don't hate them.
It's one of those things.
You're amused by them.
You're amused by them. Yeah.
Like the little brother.
They're clowns to you.
Meanwhile, Atlanta's at Seattle for 3.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And then we go to the Dodgers.
And then to the Dodgers for 3. The old West Coast swing of Seattle and the Dodgers. So
that's 3 straight first place teams, right? I mean, from the Guardians to the Mariners to the Dodgers.
Yeah. See how the Braves stack up against those two.
Yeah.
This week, the Yankees are in Baltimore for 4 games. The first top 2 teams in the American League East battling for 4. That starts tonight. Baltimore's at Cincinnati this weekend for 3, and Texas at Kansas City for 3 this weekend as well. Those are some of the big matchups in baseball this weekend. All right, well that's about it, fellas, for the week. And for next week, for Major League Baseball, big weeks for our teams. We got the start of May. We're starting May now, and there are only really the Marlins, Rockies, and the White Sox. We've already eliminated.
Yeah, they're done. We could like play taps for certain teams. Like we can go, instead of going fishing, some of these teams we can play taps for them. They're done.
Yeah,
but seriously, what's wrong with the Astros, man? Somebody's got to explain that to me. Because even when they were playing, it was just weird. Like their pitching was just.
They miss Dusty.
I don't know what it is.
That could be. That's probably a big part of it, missing Dusty. But starting pitching's just been injured. I mean, I think that's a big part of it too. I don't know, man. You talk about a lineup that's still stacked.
That's my point. The lineup is stacked. Like when they were coming up the bat, even when we were up by 4 or 5, it was like, oh my God, that guy. You just see these guys coming up, and it's like a modern day murderer's row, and then the pitching just can't hold up, and sometimes they're just hitting pop-ups, and it is what it is. I don't know. Baseball is funny.
Yeah, baseball is funny. That's the title of this week's show.
Got it.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us this week here on Infield Fly. Thank you for joining us as we talk baseball each and every week and look back at the week gone by and the week coming up. We'll do that each and every week here on Grind City Media. For Lang, for Murph, I'm Fish. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again next week here on Infield Fly.